welcome back. Brianna Ruelas here, and I am so excited to be joined by one of my favorite people in the world, Mr. Joe James
Hey
from
guys. Hey Brianna.
Austin, Texas. What's up, Joe?
What's up? How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm just happy you're here. I just realized that I haven't turned off any of my emails or phone notifications, so I just went airplane mode on everybody. So if you're trying to get a hold of
Sweet.
me,
That's a good idea. That's what I'm going to do.
yeah. So I am really excited to have you here. And the main reason why is because this is a continuation of us in the course talking about the power of a story and how our
Yeah.
story can not only impact, those who are our fans, like impact them in a personal way, but it creates engagement on social media and it can lead to creating new fans as well. And then
Right.
ultimately just like an authentic connection. And we talk a lot about authenticity in the course as well. And I know you know a lot about that because part of just who you are is bringing like love and light to everybody,
Right.
so that type of inspiration is really important to you. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about, initially last March when we were starting our work together, really, we dove into pretty fast the importance of story and how
Right.
your story can impact others. But there was a story that you like had never even shared. Like, and it was it was pretty much your like core brand story. If
Sure.
we if
Yeah.
we look at it, and it was a story that you never had shared until last spring. So I'm going to
Right.
kind of open it up to you to kind of talk about that journey and
Sure.
how you even had the bravery to go there, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it was a story that I really tried to bury away for some reason. And I mean, I wasn't really ashamed of it, but I was almost I guess afraid to bring it up, to be vulnerable in that area. So I guess maybe a little bit I was kind of afraid to bring that vulnerability out. But yeah, I was all throughout my teens and into some of my adulthood. Uh, I was overweight and I was depressed, and my was 300 pounds. I got up to 300 pounds, and I didn't like who I was. I didn't know who I was. I was you know told by people who I was, basically, that how I looked, and that's the kind of what I clung on to. And music was always the thing that I'd result back to, that kind of kept me sane and safe. Music, and of course my girlfriend, who is now my wife. Um, but I ended up um, getting the drive to lose the weight, but did it all in the wrong way. Lost a bunch of weight, became borderline anorexic, and still couldn't find who I was, and didn't know who I was as an individual. And I didn't have that self-love, but I finally I found it, and I got the courage to find it and go out and be exactly who I was, and dress how I wanted to, and get up on stage and wear these clothes that I always wanted to, which I always thought I couldn't because I was too heavy, or you know um, stuff like what people would have thought of me, because I was too heavy. They would say I was too fat, I was too skinny, I looked like I was sick, and I just was worried about what everyone was saying about me. And I finally got the courage to just be who I was. But I've never shared that story, which was extremely difficult. That all those years of battling being overweight, battling being too thin, but thinking I was still overweight, and what people thought of me, and finally I got to that point where I didn't care, and I just wanted to be who I was. But I've never shared the story, like I said, because I don't know if I didn't want to be that vulnerable, if I was afraid to share it, until March, until we started talking about it. Started talking about branding and all this stuff, and story, and you remember, I was a little hesitant to even share it. I was like, yeah, I don't know about, but I'm glad I did. I'm 100% happy and glad that I shared that with the audience. And it kind of, the biggest thing I've noticed is it brought me closer to them, and it brought them closer to me in the sense of they weren't just listening to my music and going, "That's cool." They now understand where the music and the lyrics and my personality and why I love and why I want to spread, that type of love and self love, and they understand that now, and to have that story and to bring it out completely changed a lot of things for me, which I wouldn't have even thought of until we started talking about it, and you kind of pushed me into sharing it and to forming the story and to releasing it to my audience and into social media, and the response I've gotten was awesome, and like people still I still have that connection, and I've seen a huge growth of just the story, which is awesome, and I have you to thank for it, really.
Well, thank you. But I have to just say like how proud I am of you because I know that that was scary.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I have to share, I'm going to go ahead and share right now. I have to share this post because I want other artists to see how moved people were by this post. So here we
Right.
go. This man used to be 300 pounds. He struggled with his weight through his teens and early adulthood ever. And this is simple, right? This is like that short, we
Right.
talk about three sizes of your story. We talk about the like short 1 to 2 sentence, the medium
Right.
size, and then the full scoop, right? And this would
Yep.
be in between kind of the short and the medium size, right? This isn't like the full scoop here, but
Yeah.
what I also love, which I think is so important, is that when we're sharing our story, you did not do it in a way to like have a poor pity me, everyone feel
Yeah.
sorry for me situation. You really took it from the stance of empowerment, and like you said
Right.
earlier, really trying to empower your audience and
Right.
let them know that they're not alone, and you were putting them in your shoes for a moment, which is so powerful because ultimately when we connect with our fans, they they want to relate. And
Yeah.
so because of your story and because you were brave enough to share your story, suddenly you were that much more relatable. So it wasn't
Right.
just your lyrics of your songs that were relatable, which they have a connection to, but now they have a personal connection to you, and that's what they want anyway.
Yep.
So I'm just going to say here, music kept me strong. It pushed me to the best version of myself. I wanted to feel good, happy, and perform the best I could. I'm here to tell you, keep your head up, stay strong, don't listen to the negative words, and don't give up. Be the best you. And
Right.
I love this. So this is this first picture, and then the second picture of you. And you've
Yeah.
got little sad faces here.
I know. And that wasn't even my heaviest. I think I might have shared my heaviest somewhere else, but yeah, that was and that on the engagement there, the 215, that was all in with like maybe a day or two, you
Yeah.
know.
And 11
And
shares. You have 11 shares. You have 61 comments. Thank you, Joe, for sharing your inspiration,
yeah,
your words, and your music. The awesome community in the world. We are so glad you're here. Totally tell the story, Joe. Keep telling your story, Joe. You're an amazing soul. Oh, that would be me. Proud of you, proud to know you. Wow, thanks for being vulnerable. It is a true sign of strength in a man. I never knew this. This just adds to your awesomeness. I knew you were some kind of special. I just love all of this. I think it's just really, it's just very relative, and people need to understand, that this moves people. Look at
right,
all
yeah.
these awesome posts. Look at this girl. What?
But
I
and
love
people, that's
that.
the thing. It's
Look
like
at this girl.
people
She's like, yeah, you go, boy. Yeah,
and
I mean,
people want to be connected to what they want to be a part of it, and they are a part of it. They're a huge part of it, and so to to let them into that to that world, for me was very vulnerable, and but it helped so much. It's amazing how it helped with my career and even like the growth in attendance at shows from people just reading the story saying, hey, I my friend shared this and I wanted to come see you. Hey, I was 500 pounds, or hey, I was, gay and was afraid to come out, or hey, I was, this, or I was anorexic and I'm, ashamed of who I am, or I was, but now I'm, I feel like I can get up there and do all these funky moves that and wear these crazy clothes and just be who I want to be. And so that was the cool thing for me, and that's the most rewarding part, I think. And I wasn't even all throughout my career up until we started working together. I wasn't able to experience that part of what music can do, or what you can do being on a certain platform. And that was powerful for me. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And it also just gives you that momentum to keep moving forward. And,
Absolutely.
that, if we call that, one of your core brand stories, you also have a ton of other like ancillary stories, so to speak, that
Right.
support your core brand story. So there's
Right.
not just one story for you to share. There's multiple layers of that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like that's just the beginning. And then you start peeling away other layers, and then you get to, continue to invite people in and be a part of what you're doing and be a part of your
Yep.
journey. So
Yeah.
again, that was amazing. And thank you so much for sharing it with all of these
Thank you.
artists now and today. And I guess with that, I'll just say one more thing as far as sending it back to you. I guess if
Sure.
you could give any advice to any artist who's on the fence about sharing their story, any tips or advice on, the way to most effectively share it from the artist perspective?
Sure. I mean, I would say first and foremost, like, I wouldn't share it if you're not really comfortable with sharing it at that moment. And I think that's what you brought up to me. It's like, if you're not, you don't have to like go into detail. But I will tell you, once you do, that connection you have, and I would really search, and of course with you, that like you helped me to put it into words, so where I couldn't have, structured it in that specific way. Um, and so having someone like you to help, me with putting that story together in a way that would capture, because I didn't want to write a book on social media and then everyone's like, okay, I'm like, this is too long, I'm not going to read all this. So it was great to have you to kind of help me structure it in a way that would captivate the audience, and them to, uh, I guess, read it in a quick and a fast, efficient way, and be able to relate to it quickly. Um, but yeah, if you're not comfortable, I wouldn't at the moment. But I'll tell you, when you do, you will see that people are behind you, and people want to be uplifted, and people want to be encouraged, and you have a platform being an artist to to lift people up, and to share your story, and to help them out, and to push them to do some of the things you're doing, because there are those little kids that are battling with weight right now, that I want to know that when they're 30 or 31 or my age, they can what I'm doing. And I don't want them to give up, or I don't want them to take, uh, to get so deep into the depression that they think, they're never going to be able to do anything like that because of the way they look or who they are, and them, not being alive anymore because of it. I want them to know that, no, you are awesome and you can do this. You can do whatever you want to do, really, and that's the power we have. So sharing your story is extremely important to your fans, to anybody really that needs to hear it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
You're
I
the best.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.